May God, who in the mystery of his vision and power transforms his white radiance into his many-colored creation, from whom all things come and into whom they all return, grant us the grace of pure vision. He is the sun, the moon, and the stars. He is the fire, the waters, and the wind. He is Brahma, the creator of all, and Prayapati, the Lord of creation. Thou this boy, and thou this maiden, thou this man, and thou this woman, thou art this old man who supports himself on a staff, thou the God who appears in forms infinite, thou the blue bird, and thou the green bird, thou the cloud that conceals the lightning, with thou the seasons and the oceans beyond beginning, thou art in thy infinity, and all the worlds had their beginning in thee. There is nature never born, who with her three elements, light, fire, and darkness, creates all things in nature. There is the never born soul of man, bound by the pleasures of nature, and there is the spirit of man, never born, who has left pleasures behind in the joy of the beyond. There are two birds, two sweet friends, who dwell on the self-same tree. The one eats the fruits thereof, and the other looks on in silence. The first is the human soul, who resting on that tree, though active, feels sad in his unwisdom, but on beholding the power and the glory of the higher spirit, he becomes free from sorrow. Of what use is the Rig Veda to one who does not know the spirit, from whom the Rig Veda comes, and in whom all things abide? For only those who have found him have found peace. For all the sacred books, all holy sacrifice and ritual and prayers, all the words of the Vedas, and the whole past and present and future come from the Spirit with Maya, this power of wonder. He made all things, and by Maya the human soul is bound. Know therefore that nature is Maya, but that God is the ruler of Maya, and that all beings in our universe are parts of his infinite splendor. He rules over the sources of creation. From him comes the universe, and unto him it returns. He is the Lord, the giver of blessings, the one God of our adoration, in whom there is perfect peace. May Rudra, the seer of eternity, who gave to the gods their birth and their glory, who keeps all things under his protection, and who in the beginning saw the golden seed, grant us the grace of pure vision. Who is the God to whom we shall offer adoration, the God of gods, in whose glory the worlds are, and who rules this world of man and all living beings? He is the God of forms infinite, in whose glory all things are, smaller than the smallest atom, and yet the creator of all, ever living in the mystery of his creation. In the vision of this God of love there is everlasting peace. He is the Lord of all, who, hidden in the heart of things, watches over the world of time. The gods and the seers of Brahman are one with him, and when a man knows him, he cuts the bonds of death. When one knows God, who is hidden in the heart of all things, even as cream is hidden in milk, and in whose glory all things are, he is free from all bondage. This is the God whose work is all the worlds, the supreme soul who dwells forever in the hearts of men. Those who know him through their hearts and their minds become immortal. There is a region beyond darkness where there is neither day nor night, nor what is nor what is not. Only Siva, the God of love, is there. It is the region of the glorious splendor of God, from whom came the light of the sun, and from whom the ancient wisdom came in the beginning. The mind cannot grasp him above or below, or in the space in between. With whom shall we compare, whose glory is the whole universe? Far beyond the range of vision, he cannot be seen by mortal eyes, but he can be known by the heart and the mind, and those who know him attain immortality. A man comes to thee in fearful wonder and says, Thou art God, who never was born. Let thy face, Rudra, shine upon me, and let thy love be my eternal protection. Hurt not my child, nor the child of my child. Hurt not my life, my horses, or my cows. Kill not in anger our brave men, for we ever come to thee with adorations. Two things are hidden in the mystery of infinite Brahma, of infinity of Brahman, knowledge and ignorance. Ignorance passes away and knowledge is immortal, but Brahman is eternity above ignorance and knowledge. He is the one in whose power are the many sources of creation, and the root and the flower of all things. The golden seed, the Creator, was in his mind in the beginning, and he saw him born when time began. He is God, who spreads the net of transmigration and then withdraws it in the field of life. He is the Lord who created the lords of creation, the supreme soul who rules over all. Even as the radiance of the sun shines everywhere in space, so does the glory of God rule over all his creation. In the unfolding of his own nature, he makes all things blossom into flower and fruit. He gives to them all their fragrance and color. He, the one, the only God who rules the universe. There is a spirit hidden in the mystery of the Upanishads and the Vedas, and Brahma, the God of creation, owns him as his own creator. It is the Spirit of God, seen by gods and seers of olden times, who, when one with him, became immortal. When a man is bound by the three powers of nature, he works for a selfish reward, and in time he has his reward. His soul then becomes the many forms of the three powers, strays along the three paths, and wanders on through life and death. The soul is like the sun in splendor. When it becomes one with the self-conscious I am and its desires, it is a flame the size of a thumb. But when one with pure reason and the inner spirit, it becomes in concentration as the point of a needle. A soul can be thought as the part of a point of a hair, which divided by 100 were divided by 100 again, and yet in this living soul there is the seed of infinity. The soul is not a man nor a woman, nor what is neither a woman nor a man. When the soul takes the form of a body, by that same body the soul is bound. The soul is born and unfolds in a body with dreams and desires and the food of life, and that it is reborn in new bodies in accordance with its former works. The quality of the soul determines its future body, earthly or airy, heavy or light. Its thoughts and its actions can lead it to freedom or lead it to bondage and life after life. But there is the God of forms infinite, and when a man knows God, he is free from all bondage. He is the creator of all, ever living in the mystery of his creation. He is beyond beginning and end, and in his glory all things are. He is an incorporeal spirit, but he can be seen by a heart which is pure. Being and non-being come from him, and he is the creator of all. He is God, the God of love. And when a man knows him, then he leaves behind his bodies of transmigration. Some sages speak of the nature of things as the cause of the world, and others, in their delusion, speak of time. But it is by the glory of God that the wheel of Brahman revolves in the universe.